What's up, football fans? Welcome back to the channel. Match week 12 of the English Premier League is here, and the drama just keeps getting better. We've got massive clashes, title race tension, surprise contenders, and clubs fighting to claw their way up the table. From breathtaking goals to last-minute heartbreaks, this week is packed with action you don't want to miss. Stick around as we break down all the key fixtures, predictions, standout players, and the storylines shaping the week ahead. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive straight into Match Week 12 predictions. The final international break of 2025 has reached its conclusion, and the Premier League returns with a Turf Moor tussle between Burnley and Chelsea on Saturday lunchtime. The Clarets entered the hiatus on a dampening two-match losing run, whereas the Club World Cup champions are hunting a third straight top-flight success in Lancashire. Burnley have a man in form up front in Fleming, but the Clarets can surely only hope for the odd consolation goal against Chelsea, who are well placed to capitalise on their hosts' defensive deficiencies. Barcelona is on the horizon for the Blues, who could be forgiven for having one eye on that Champions League classic, but they should nevertheless march to the perfect warm-up win on Saturday lunchtime. So I'm gonna go for a 1-3 Chelsea win, and my betting tip is Chelsea team total over 1.5 goals. Heading in opposite trajectories just before international action intervened, Bournemouth and West Ham United square off in Saturday's intriguing Premier League scrap at the Vitality Stadium. The Cherries have fallen to defeat in their most recent two fixtures, whereas Nuno Espirito Santo's rejuvenated Irons are aiming for a third win on the spin. The stage is set for a gripping contest between a West Ham side in their best moment of the season, and a Bournemouth outfit desperate to stop the rut at a ground where they tend to excel. Expect high-octane action and a glut of goals down south, where Iraola's men have our vote to take advantage of the visitors' backline weaknesses and edge an enthralling battle. So I'm gonna go for a 3-2 Bournemouth win, and my betting tip is total over 9.5 corner kicks. Two teams level on points in the Premier League table square off at the Amex Stadium on Saturday afternoon, as Brighton and Hove Albion play host to Brentford. A 6-goal thriller was played out the last time these two sides butted heads in April, when the Bees secured a 4-2 victory over the Seagulls at the Tech Community Stadium. 3 of the last 5 meetings between Brighton and Brentford have ended all square, and another closely contested battle could be on the cards this weekend. Considering that Brighton boast a strong unbeaten home run and Brentford have struggled on the road this term, the Seagulls will be regarded as slight favourites, and they may just do enough to edge past the Bees on this occasion. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Brighton win, and my betting tip is total over 1.5 goals. Sunderland will be looking to consolidate their place in the top 4 of the Premier League table when they travel to Craven Cottage to face Fulham on Saturday afternoon. The two teams meet for the first time since February 2023, when Marco Silva's men claimed a 3-2 away victory in an FA Cup 5th round replay. Fulham have looked stronger playing in front of their own supporters this season, but they have not blown teams away in the final third, and they may struggle to break down a fairly robust Sunderland backline that has conceded only 5 goals in as many away matches. We are backing the Black Cats to build on their positive start to the campaign and claim a slender win at Craven Cottage. So I'm gonna go for 0-1 Sunderland win, and my betting tip is Sunderland team total over 0.5 goals. Already resigned to conceding their Premier League title in the eyes of many, Liverpool host an increasingly sturdy Nottingham Forest side at Anfield on Saturday afternoon. Onslaught's men return to losing ways just before the international break, while Sean Dyche's crop are aiming to extend their unbeaten run to 4 games in all tournaments on Merseyside. Regardless of Wood's availability, Forest's direct football and low-block tactics under Dyche have the potential to unsettle Liverpool to no end, and the Tricky Trees have made noticeable improvements on the attacking front too. This could have been an easy home win for Liverpool, but their inconsistency is just on another level. So I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw, and my betting tip is total over 8.5 corner kicks. Rob Edwards will take charge of his first Premier League game as head coach of Wolverhampton Wanderers when they welcome Crystal Palace to Molineux on Saturday afternoon. The Old Gold and the Eagles butt heads for the first time since May, when the latter secured a 4-2 top-flight win at Selhurst Park. The fact that Edwards has won his opening league match at 3 of his previous 4 clubs bodes well for a Wolves side who are desperate to pick up their first 3 points of the season, but Crystal Palace will still be regarded as favourites to come out on top this weekend. Wolves are the lowest scorers in the Premier League this term with just 7 goals, while only the top 2 teams Arsenal and Man City have conceded fewer goals than Crystal Palace, who should be strong enough at the back, with or without Guhi, to keep Wolves at bay en route to victory. So I'm gonna go for a 0-2 Crystal Palace win, and my betting tip is match total over 1.5 goals. Manchester City will endeavour to move to within 1 point of Premier League leaders Arsenal when they travel to St James' Park to face Newcastle United on Saturday evening. The Citizens and the Magpies meet for the first time since February, when the former eased to a 4-0 top-flight victory at the Etihad Stadium, courtesy of a first-half hat-trick from Omar Marmush. Newcastle are a different animal when playing in front of a fired-up St James' Park crowd and have impressed on home soil in recent weeks, but their resolve will be tested against a red-hot Man City side boasting arguably the deadliest striker on the planet in Haaland, who will be as hungry as ever to score his 100th Premier League goal. Both teams will back themselves to claim a positive result, but it is difficult to ignore Man City's strong record against Newcastle and their recent results in the top flight. Guardiola's men should have enough to get the job done here. So I'm gonna go for a 1-2 Manchester City win, and my betting tip is total over 8.5 corner kicks. On the verge of setting a new unwanted club record, Leeds United tackle Aston Villa at Elland Road in Sunday's Premier League showdown. The Whites have failed to score in each of their last 3 home league games against the Lions, and Sunday could mark the first time in the hosts' history that they have drawn a blank in 4 successive home league matches against a single opponent. Expect at least 1 or 2 horror misses at Elland Road this Sunday, as Leeds and Aston Villa are statistically the Premier League's worst 2 teams when it comes to converting big chances this season. However, the in-form Lions will surely take a handful of theirs against their defensively vulnerable hosts, whose 3-year wait for a win over a top-half team is destined to go on. So I'm gonna go for a 1-3 Aston Villa win, and my betting tip is Aston Villa to win or draw at full time. Arsenal and Tottenham will clash at the Emirates Stadium on Sunday. With Arsenal sitting at the summit and Spurs pushing for the top 4, both teams have plenty at stake as they renew their fierce rivalry in the Premier League. Arsenal sit on top of the league after 11 games, with 8 wins, 2 draws, and just a single defeat. They have scored 20 goals and conceded only 5, giving them a robust plus 15 goal difference. Tottenham, currently in 5th place, boast 5 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses, notching 19 goals and conceding 10. Arsenal's dominant displays have been founded on a highly effective attack and an even more impressive defense, indicating why they have lost only once this season. Spurs, meanwhile, have kept pace offensively but have shown more vulnerabilities at the back. Arsenal's recent home dominance and their commanding record against Tottenham, along with winning 4 of the last 5 head-to-head meetings, give them the edge. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Arsenal win, and my betting tip is Tottenham team total over 2.5 corner kicks. Manchester United return to Old Trafford, ready to resume Premier League duties with Everton in town. Both clubs seek consistency heading into the late November clash, and the numbers suggest a compelling duel. The league table tells a similar story. United are 7th with 5 wins, 3 draws, and 3 defeats in 11 matches. Everton are finding life tougher at 13th, registering 4 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses. All indicators point toward Manchester United holding the advantage on home soil. Their undefeated run against Everton in 6 matches and solid home record in the league give them an edge. Everton, on the other hand, have struggled away and remain winless in 5 of their last 6 on the road. Expect United's firepower and midfield control to carve open opportunities, while Everton's goal threat may rely on counterattacks and set pieces. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Manchester United win, and my betting tip is total under 5.5 bookings.